Hey guys, Nova here. This video, honestly, this topic, I was going to talk about it last week, but last week I kind of lost my voice. And when I say lost my voice, I mean at work I was using a text-to-speech app because I legitimately could not talk. I had a sinus infection, and when it left, it just kind of took my voice with it. Like, I could rasp a little bit, but I couldn't talk above a whisper, and so, yeah, the talkie video got put off until this week. So, getting into this, we need to chat about Clip Studio Paint, honestly. Now, I'm not coming at this all angry with the grrr attitude that a lot of other people have had. It's something that I've seen, and yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I do believe that they've messed up with this whole thing, the way they're handling it. The company could have handled it better. Way better. After the first announcement of everything being, like, completely silent about it, other than saying we're taking in your criticisms and all that, being silent aside from just that wasn't really the best way to handle things. I really don't think it was. It wasn't smart. It made it seem like they were just saying, oh, we hear you, and then just not doing anything. And that already kind of soured people towards all of this. Now, they have come out with more information. Now, first off, I will say, where they've mentioned having like a discounted upgrade price and stating what the price is, that was smart on their part. I do think that was very smart, to let people know if they have version 1, the perpetual version, and they want to upgrade to version 2 when it comes out, that they'll have like a discounted price to be able to do that. I think that was a good move on their part, and it's still a very affordable price, especially when you compare it to some other art software. And I definitely am glad that they were talking about in the new update decisions to provide stability updates for version 1, like even beyond the version 3 release. That was also a smart move. I do appreciate that. I think that was a very good move on their part, because you're going to have a lot of people who either have to wait for a good while because they just can't afford it, or they just don't want to move on to the newer version. Like, I've met people who use some of the older versions of Photoshop, the old ones that were just the one-time purchase thing. I think somewhere I have a copy of Elements somewhere that I used to use to draw in. And sometimes people like older programs and they just want to stick to what they know, they want to stick to what they like. That's cool. I get that. I also think that it was a smart move to add in that people who bought Clip Studio, the perpetual version in 2022, before the new version was announced, if you bought it in 2022, you can upgrade to version 2 for free when it comes out. I think that's smart. And honestly, that's a lot more. With that, they're doing a lot more than most other companies would do. Most other companies, it would be even, most of them wouldn't even have the discounted upgrade price for people who bought Clip Studio before 2022. And that's already a good move on their part, having that. But letting people who bought it this year, when the new version was announced this year, was also smart, because most other companies wouldn't do that. Most other companies would essentially have the attitude of, oh, well, if you want the new version, you've got to pay full price for it anyway, even though you just bought the old version. Sucks to be you. But that's not the way they're handling this, and I do commend them for that. I think that's, honestly, it says, to at least on their part, they are, to an extent, thinking about the consumers. Now, let's go on to the part everybody hates, the update path. I think that whole thing is being handled really, really poorly on their end. I do. I will say, however, and don't come at me, hear me out, okay? Hear me out as I go through this. I think people are freaking out a little bit too much about it. Especially now that they've released what the price will be and some clarifications and everything of that sort. I do think that people are overreacting a bit. I still don't like it. Let's talk about the price first. And whenever I go over this, I'm mostly going to be going over the stuff regarding the Pro version. The stuff for EX is going to be more expensive. I understand that. I don't like the price disparity between the Pro update pass and the EX update pass. Like, taking out the whole fact of the update pass itself. The words update pass are going to stop sounding like words by the time I'm done with this. I know they are. Taking and putting aside just the factor of the update pass itself existing and what it is, putting that aside, I understand to an extent them costing different, because the features themselves of EX and Pro being different means that there is going to be obviously a difference in feature updates that come out for each version. There's going to be additional things that somebody who, like whenever they've had updates in the past, feature updates in the past, they have had new things added to EX that obviously weren't added to Pro because you didn't have EX if you had Pro. And somebody with EX is getting the Pro update and the EX update. They're getting both of those feature updates at the same time. I can understand there being a price disparity. I think the price disparity between them is a bit too much, but that's what I'm going to say on that. I think that's a bit too much of a price gap between them. Now, most of this going forward, when I talk about the prices, I am specifically going to be talking about the prices for the Pro. Just because that's what I have, that's what my mind has essentially been zeroing in on. That has been mostly my frame of reference for all this. So, the update pass. The price itself, taking aside what it is, the price itself, it's not bad. People losing their minds, it's not bad price-wise. $10 for a year? That is not bad at all. Compare that to something like the price of Photoshop. That's expensive. Photoshop is extremely expensive. This is really not. And unlike with Photoshop, if you stop having the subscription, you don't stop having access to the basic program in general. And I will get into that whole thing. Now, I do need to mention, I have noticed a whole lot of people actively spreading the misinformation that bug fix updates are going to require the update pass. I know that I'm teeny tiny, I'm small, me putting this out there isn't going to do much to change that misconception, that misinformation being spread, but I want to say it here outright so that anybody watching this video recognizes it. Bug fixes and things like that, stability updates, are not what the update pass is for. It's not. Updates for bug fixes and things like that are still going to come out and be usable for people who don't have the update pass. So let's stop spreading that factor, because it's not true. Stop actively spreading misinformation. There's enough bad stuff to look at without actively looking at false stuff too, okay? Stop it. It's just, that needs to stop. The update pass will essentially apply to new features of the program. Things that, honestly, whenever they've added new features and stuff like that before, a lot of it's been really gimmicky, or things that people doing really specific things would use consistently. It's not okay, a good example that happened not too awful long ago was they added in the liquify tool. That was a feature update. Since they've added it, I haven't used it once. I always was sitting, and this is something that I was thinking a lot of time before, that'd be awesome if they put that in. I was excited when they put them in. I'm like, this is going to be really useful. I'm going to be able to use this a lot, and I haven't used it once. And that seems to be what a lot of the feature updates are sometimes. Not always. I understand some feature updates are going to be intensive tools for people, really extensive things, and that people will use a lot. That is going to happen. That will be a thing. It just is. Now, I do not think that the update pass is a good idea at all. I don't. Let's make this clear. While I do think people need to calm down, I also think that this pass is not a good idea at all. It creates a very bad look to essentially use updates that you've paid for and been using. Why not? A good alternative would be to maybe make new features an optional purchase for a small amount of money. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. That way, you don't have things bogged down with a feature somebody might not use, or a feature somebody's just oh, that's cool, but never touches. I think that would be a better option. It'd be a better alternative, and you buy it and it's done. You're gonna have, no matter what, and I do think that they are taking this into account, that no matter what, you're gonna have some people mad. No matter what you do, no matter what changes you make, the very fact of the matter is the fact that people are going to have to spend additional income, admittedly, to get this stuff. It's going to make some people mad, whether it's warranted or not, okay? if they if they really, really feel the need to have like some kind of yearly pass that you buy, I think it should maybe take the angle that you buy the pass and then you're able to get and keep the updates from the time span that you got the pass for. That, I think, would be a much more acceptable way to do it. Or, it would be better if you could keep the updates up to the point in time that your subscription ended in regard to, like, the updates. Now, the program itself having an optional subscription model, I don't see a problem with that. I don't. I've seen a lot of people get mad, but I don't, especially because it's still so affordable compared to other programs that do that. And so long as it stays affordable, I don't think there's going to be a problem. But I do think another option for them to have to potentially maybe make some more income, make some more money with everything is, and this is something I've wanted them to do that I would love for them to do, is if they could offer the purchase of additional cloud storage. That would be amazing. Because I understand that for a lot of people and all that, 10 gigs is a lot, but I switch between devices a lot. I've got my home set up, and then I've got a Galaxy Tab that I use for portable work. And sometimes I have had to go through at points and remove some stuff from the cloud so that I can upload more things to the cloud. And it's just been a bit frustrating to a decent extent to not even have the option to purchase more cloud storage. I think that would be really useful. That would be a really good direction for them to go with that. And with being able to like earn more money off of the product. I also think another thing, this is just a side tangent in regard to the cloud storage. If this is something that there is, and I just haven't found it because I'm an idiot, please tell me. Someone please tell me. Because I would love it if I could maybe, tag and organize my things more so in the cloud storage to keep things more organized, because I have so many projects and it makes it so difficult sometimes to try and keep track of what is where and to find things. I have to remember exactly what I titled everything, which can be frustrating because sometimes I just kind of smack the keyboard and whatever happens, and then looking through all the pages is difficult. But let me pull back from that little side tangent. Again, if anybody knows of a way that if that feature exists, somebody tell me, please. Somebody tell me so I can use it, because it would make it so much easier, please. Now, getting away from that side tangent, let me just say, I completely understand and support, the company that makes Clip Studio, I can't pronounce it, that's the whole reason I haven't said it, releasing new versions and wanting to actually make money off of them. That is totally fair. Making new versions and charging for them, that honestly makes sense. I think that a lot of us have gotten a little bit spoiled, frankly, with how things have been done regarding Clip Studio, where it's been just, you buy it the one time and then every single thing that ever gets added to and expanded on that you get. Most programs don't really work that way. Most programs don't. We've seen it. Most things do not work that way. Usually new content gets added to something, it's an additional purchase, it's not a free update. And that's how it's been on most things for quite a while. And I think the fact that this program hasn't been that way really has led to just the user and consumers getting a bit spoiled on it. And I definitely support them releasing new versions, and especially at a much more affordable cost than most other software, and wanting to make an actual profit off of their product, because think about it, if the company goes under for the most part, we're gonna lose those stability updates, we're gonna lose the new features and all of that. It becomes a back and forth kind of thing. Now, I do not think that they're handling it well, nor are they handling the criticism very well at all. It's just the whole I hear you and then silence thing. That's not the proper way to handle it. They need to have people actually talking about this more and addressing it rather than being silent for ages until we get a new announcement. That's not the way to handle this. That is going to make consumers lose faith in a product that they've used for a while now. And I think that they need to look at and consider how they're handling things and change the way that they are handling things. However, I don't think that the consumers are handling this well either. I've seen people getting, and I think I said this, but I've seen people legitimately getting mad because they're coming out with a new version that has to be bought. I've seen people getting really, really heated about that because, how dare this company charge us for a new one of the software. It's frustrating. I understand not being able to afford things. I am a very small-time artist. I don't make very much off of my art currently, but at the same time, these companies and these programs that we use are a tool that we pay for. They are. And people need to calm down a little bit. Nobody's saying that you can't continue to use version 1. They've even listened very extensively to people being upset and decided to continue support updates for version 1 beyond version 3. And that's something that a lot of other, honestly, even through version 2, that's something that a lot of other companies would not do. I think that both sides are screwing up quite a bit. And I will say, though, that even with all of this, Clip Studio is still far more affordable than something like Photoshop. I think they're messing up here, but I do think that people are losing their minds way too much. And like I said, I'm one of the people, as a small-time artist, very small-time artist, I'm going to continue to use Clip Studio so long as it remains affordable. I like the program, I like the way it's set up, I like the tools and the assets that you can use. I very much so enjoy the community that's around it and the access to community-made assets and brushes and other such things. That's something that you don't get a lot of the time with other programs. It's a pain sometimes to find other assets. I will say, as a note to other artists, if you're looking for a good alternative, I do recommend Krita. It's a fantastic program. I used it for a long time before I finally got Clip Studio. It's a free program, and for being free, it's got a lot of features. It's very, very good for a free program. I really like it, and I think it's a good one for people to use. And honestly, one thing I really like is that you've got somebody like, for instance, Jazza here on YouTube has come out with like a custom brush pack that you can install on Krita. I've never seen really people do that, and I think that's really cool. I think that's a really neat thing. So I do recommend Krita, even if you just have Clip Studio and you want an alternative, because this whole situation has turned you away from Clip Studio. I don't blame you for that. People who have turned away from the program and from the company because of all this, I definitely don't blame you for that. You know, the things you feel about things are valid and are understandable, especially whenever there's something like this that essentially equates to a change in the status quo, which in a lot of ways is what this is. Sorry, I had to move around. And I think that people do need to be more understanding to artists being bothered by such a thing. But I also think that we need to look at it from both sides to an extent. And I do think that things are being handled poorly, but I think we need to give them a chance to take the feedback and improve. And I think that'd be useful. I'm starting to talk in circles now, so that's about all I've got to say on it. I felt like speaking on it though, because I didn't really see many people covering it from both sides. I've seen people come at it from one angle, and I've seen people come at it from the other, mostly the one angle of being angry. But I do think that coming at it from both sides and taking a look at it and just analyzing it is a better thing to do. But that's about all I've got to say now that I'm talking in circles. If you want to try a different program, I recommend Krita. It's a very good one, and I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more chit-chat videos, talky kind of videos, maybe hit subscribe, look through the other videos I've posted. I do have my commission info down in the description, and if you enjoyed watching this or you like the art, give the video a little like, maybe subscribe, I don't know, whatever you feel like doing. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!